I came into contact with somebody from one of the big four. Ended up becoming kind of a mentor to me. He's now a member of our club.
Man, when I first saw my first Hell's Angel standing there, I was like, that's what I want to be, man.
If you're running a three-piece, just like you know, it is truly an outlaw stamp. Doesn't make you a one percenter, but it makes you an outlaw.
This is what I believe in, and it was awesome to see that my brothers believed in me.
It's the wolf leading the sheep, man. The sheep need to open their eyes because they about to walk off the cliff where the whole other pack of wolves are at the bottom.
If you were getting your lunch money taken before you put them rags on, if they catch you by yourself, they're going to take your lunch money again.
I try to be around the guys and hang out with them as much as possible and get to know them, because that's really what it's about.
17 defendants were indicted last month.
Charged with attempted murder and assault with a deadly weapon. They are charged in an attack.
It's possible that the attack was triggered because one of them dared to talk to one of the girlfriends of these members.
Welcome to this episode of Chatting with Stacks. I'm your host, Bill Stacks, and today I got Thomas Vestergaard. What's up, Thomas?
Hello, brother.
How you doing?
I'm good. We were going to talk about ARM today, Association of Recovering Motorcyclists. I was a member for 3 years, but I think we all need some backstory. So ARM started back in '84, and it was started by a chapter of the Outlaws, a couple, a man and a woman. They started the club, and back then they were still outlaws. They were clean and sober, but they still had the old lifestyle. So they, as I heard it, they got in a beef with another clean and sober motorcycle club called Sober Riders, and at an event, prison run, one of the members of Sober Riders shot and killed two members of ARM. So they had a lot of trouble in the beginning. They say that they're the world's largest clean and sober club, and when I joined, I think they were. But the story, the background story is that back when the Outlaws and the Hells Angels went to war together, the Outlaws, they approached ARM and said, "You were once our brothers, and if you want to come back, you can come back as clean and sober chapters in your old club." And the guy, the president, he said, "Yeah, I want to go back," but his wife, she wanted to stay behind. She didn't want to go back to the Outlaws. So she said, "Okay, at this point, we're not going to do anything illegal stuff. Now we're just going to be clean and sober and concentrate on that road, so to speak."
But was it still a support club for the Outlaws at the time?
No, it wasn't a support club. They were their own thing. But because of their history and because it happened so fast that and ARM, Association of Recovering Motorcyclists, they were so big at this point. So many places where the Hells Angels, they had 2 streets down, there was a ARM chapter. They had their own clubhouse and everything, and they woke up the next day and it was an outlaw. So it caused a lot of problems, and it totally divided the club. But at the point that I joined, I started the club I started KOSA a year after I left. So that would be 12 years ago now. that I joined, and I heard about him the first time at an AA meeting. A woman heard my speak at an AA meeting, and she came to me afterwards and told me that her husband had some of the similar story as me, and he was a president in Denmark for the ARM chapter, Association of Recovering Motorcyclists. And back then I had been in the program for 3 years. I've been going to meetings every week, and I thought that I needed something outside the tables at the 12-step meetings. So I thought that this is great. Then I can have some of my old lifestyle back without all the bad shit, you know?
Yeah.
So I said, this is great. I want to find out more about this. And I showed up, talked to these guys, and before I knew it, I was a prospect.
What was that prospect period like for you?
Yeah, it was like I had that personality, you know. If I want something, I'm gonna do what it takes. So it was like when I got in the Nazi party in the old days. It was the same thing. You tell me what to do, I'll do it, and I go the extra mile if necessary. So I really wanted this thing, and back then we were only, I think we were 4 members, not even a full chapter yet. So when I got in, we had meetings with other chapters in Sweden. They had 5 chapters at the time, because Sweden was the first chapter out of the US that they actually started. So they had a lot of chapters there. They had a guy in Germany and Norway. They had a couple of guys, and it was kind of spread all over the place. But the main force were in Sweden. They had a lot of backup there, and a lot of the members there were also former outlaws. And you could see it in the way they moved, the way they talked. They had the same lifestyle, but I was so fascinated by it at the point that I didn't realize that this is just the old life without alcohol. So I got fascinated by it, and I did whatever I had to do to be a part of this. But I wasn't a prospect for very long. A thing happened. A guy in the Malmö chapter in Sweden, he was a long-time member, and his mother died. They had a very close relationship, and we went to the wedding, to him at the funeral. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
And he was there. He was pretty emotional, and we had a run afterwards, and we had our KOSA weekend a couple of days after. And at the weekend, I was supposed to make the food in the morning, and before I go to bed, I see this guy sitting in the kitchen just by himself, and we started talking, and he told me about his mother, and he felt bad. And I sat with him the whole night. I didn't go to sleep. So when the other guy started getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning, I started making breakfast. So, and people noticed this, that I took time out of my schedule. I let go of my sleep because this guy needed someone to talk to. So because of that and other things I did, my prospect period were a little more than 6 months. It was pretty quick. And within a year, I was sergeant at arms in our chapter. And because of that and everything that was going on, because of my work, of course, and trying to promote this thing that I thought was a good idea, we got a lot of new members in record time. So after a year, we were from 4 members to 21 in one chapter, the Danish chapter. And that's where it started going very wrong, because the president, he started getting nervous, because the biggest thing for him was his president patch. And he was, because we were so many members and it went so quick and he didn't know half of them, he was nervous that they were gonna choose a new president. So he started making new rules and trying to, basically he turned into a fascist overnight.
A dictator,
Yeah,
right?
a dictator. So it was, and it was so obvious, and we tried to talk him out of it, and at one point it got so bad that we actually sat down with him and tried to have a talk and said, we're not interested in your position at all. We just want to be here. We want to ride bikes. We want everything to be good between us. And he didn't believe us. And one thing I remember he said was, "I rather close this whole thing down than lose my president patch."
What?
Yeah, and I said to him, this is a fellowship. The club is supposed to mean more than your
one person is not bigger than the whole club.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we had to call the international, and because we couldn't solve this problem, so they took over, and because of the club, they weren't interested in anybody leaving, because at the time we were paying 150 membership fee every month. 150 Danish, that's about $24. And 12 of those dollars, they went to the chapter 1 in America, to the wife of the guy who started this. So they weren't interested in anybody leaving, because that would cost them a lot of money, like a pyramid scheme of sorts. So they decided to divide the chapter into 2, and there were only 3 other guys that wanted to stay with the old president, and we were 17, I believe, that went and started our own chapter, and I became vice president. Another guy, he became president, and we kind of did our own thing after that.
What happens with this guy over there, the president? Does he continue to be a member, and do things work out for him, or does it?
He kept on being a president in his chapter with these 3 other guys. So nothing happened. He just continued doing things his way.
But you don't have to deal with them no more, because you're in your own thing.
That's true. So we just did our own thing, and the thing that sort of happened was, or I realized after a while, actually I got married in the club by the international president, the woman. She married me in Sweden at one of our rallies with 3 other members. They also got married at that particular day. So it was kind of a conveyor belt. Just one after the other. And when
3 for 1, 3 for 1,
yeah,
right?
3 for 1, like tacos.
Yeah.
But at that point, a mail from one of the members in Sweden with a bill for the wedding cake we were supposed to have, and it was a lot of money. So I pretty much figured out that because of my position in the club, I was supposed to pay all of it.
What?
So I wrote back and said, okay, but what are the other guys paying? And then a week went by and I didn't hear anything.
You're frozen.
Yeah. Okay.
Hold on.
Weeks, I think. And then I didn't hear anything for a couple of weeks. And then what was he back then? I think he was the national president at that point. He called me the national president from Sweden. We didn't have one in Denmark at the time. And he said, because of several people were going to get married, they decided now that the club were going to pay the cake. So because of my question, they kind of changed everything. So now I was not supposed to pay the whole thing. Now I got it for free. So that's Brotherhood for you.
Yeah, but you put money into this club, so basically you did pay for the cake because everybody puts money into the club, right?
Yeah, everybody pays.
So during your time, is there any scrimmages going on or people getting into fights with other clubs around different countries, or what? Is it everything good?
No, at this time, the incident in America with the sober riders it's kind of like history. So there's no one that's getting killed anywhere. We hear about a couple of episodes in America at the time. I hear about a woman that lives in a basement of one of the American presidents, and she overdose and die. And there's a picnic run, as they call it in America, where a prospect, he knifes his president. He doesn't die, but he cut him down with a knife because of money issues. I don't know if he owed him money or something, but that sort of things that happened. And there was a chapter in Sweden that had some beef with the national president in Sweden, and he went to shut it down, and they pulled guns on each other. So there was a lot of things that didn't really match up with the clean and sober lifestyle. But and when we had the rally in Denmark, there was a guy that had a sports bag with guns. He put in the bushes close, so if anything happened, then they were prepared. So there wasn't really. There was a lot of red flags, but I kind of ignored it because, you know how it is. I thought
you wanted to be part of it. You thought it was going to be forever, right?
Of course. And at the wedding where we had this in Sweden, we're having a good time, and the international president, she comes up to me and insinuates to my face that the only reason I'm going to get married is because I can do it in this club and I'll have everything for free. So I actually get a free wedding. And that was before she was going to marry us.
Was that the case? That wasn't the case, right?
No, that wasn't the case. I just felt that this is my family. And if I'm going to get married, this is the people I want around me for my marriage. So, and I even proposed the year before at a club rally with my girlfriend there. So everybody saw it, everybody was happy. And I didn't find out until 6 months later that there were actually 2 or 3 other couples that want to get married at the same time. So,
you froze again.
Yeah.
You
Damn.
froze again. I can't see you.
Damn.
All right, you're back. You could leave it like that. Leave it like that. That's fine.
I don't know if it's.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you could leave it like that.
You think it is better this way?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Okay. Well, where were we?
The wedding. The wedding happens. And so what happens next? Like, you get the wedding, then the cake ordeal happens. Is there any fights within the club that you're in?